The Ministry of Armed Forces is the ministry of the government of France in charge of managing the French armed forces inside and outside French soil. Its head is the Minister of the Armed Forces. From 1947 until 2017, the ministry was designated the Ministry of Defense. It is France's Ministry of Defense. The head of the department is the Minister of the Armed Forces. The current officeholder has been Florence Parly since 2017. Currently, she reports directly to the President of the Republic, the Commander-in-Chief of the French Armed Forces. Her mission is to organize and manage the country defense policy in liaison with other departments. She is also in charge of mobilizing troops and managing the military infrastructure. She is responsible of the French Armed Forces' security to the Parliament. The Chief of the Defense Staff reports directly to the Minister. He is in charge of conducting operations, troops training, troops inspection, programming the force's future, and gathering and analyzing intelligence. He is also in charge of maintaining relationships with other countries. The position of Chief of the Defense Staff was held by French Army General Pierre de Villiers until the 20th of July 2017, when he handed his resignation without an official reason. However, sources suggest that this was done as a protest against the announced defense budget cuts. In contradiction to previous assurances for increased defense spendings, French Army General François Lecointre took over as Chief of Staff of the armies on the following day. The Secretary General for Administration is in charge of the general administration of the department. He assists the Minister for. The position is held by Jean-Paul Baudin. The Direction Générale de l'Armement is the research and development service of the department. It is in charge of furnishing equipment to all branches of the armed forces and creating the future equipment of the armies. The service manages more than 80 projects and commanded more than €7.5 billion to the national industry in 2011. The headquarters of the Ministry of the Armies is at the Hôtel de Brienne, in the 14th arrondissement of Paris, but all services have been moved to a new headquarters. On 5 November 2015, French President François Hollande inaugurated the new French Defense Ministry headquarters at Billard site, nicknamed Hexagon Billard or Bellargin, in reference to its American counterpart the Pentagon. Hexagon Billard concentrates all components of the French armed forces, and houses the Chief of Staff of the Army, Chief of Staff of the Navy, Chief of Staff of the Air and Space Force, the Direction Générale de l'Armement, the General Secretary for the Administration and the Chief of the Defense Staff. While the office of the Minister of the Armed Forces stays in the Hôtel de Brienne. It is a 250,000 square meters building on a 39.5 acre ground. Hexagon Billard is the most secured building in continental Europe. Its nickname, Hexagon, was given to the project because of the shape of the ministry building. The center of the quadrilateral that forms the whole of the West Plot consists of two buildings of hexagonal shape.